there will be absolutely no rules on this show. I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or thoughts.
Welcome to the Behind the Boards show.
And we're not going to fabricate ourselves in hopes to please everybody.
New episodes every week. Featuring Nick, Taylor, and Tyler.
But make no mistake, we are not here to make enemies, but to make conversation.
The Behind the Boards show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Behind the Boards. Today, unfortunately, Tyler is not here with us. He is MIA. He is missing in action. He's under fire right now. He's taking it heavy. But hopefully, he'll be back. Rest easy for the boys. I was in a McDonald's the other day, and I heard, oh, coming from the playpen, and I was like, what is this noise? And then I walked in the playpen, walked in, and this lady just comes up to me while I'm staring at this purple thing in the playpen, and she's like, just stared at me, and I was like, what is that? And she's like, that's a grimy that is. And I said, what? She said, yeah, that's a grimy, that's a grimace right there, that's a grimy being born right now. And I said, grimace is giving birth? And she said, I said, what's going on? She said, 16 months we've been waiting. 16 months? I was just staring at her. I was like, why is the hair so black? And she said, it's not a black, it's a dark purple. And as it gets older, it stretches out and it gets more purple. And I said, oh, shit. Okay. And she said, and I said, oh, what's that smell? And she said, oh, it just releases all the stuff from the inside. And I was like, ugh! So yeah, kids, that's what they use for the sweet and sour sauce. So don't be going to McDonald's. It's today is just me and Taylor. Just Taylor and Taylor's little princess. Which is me. Obviously, I'm Taylor's little princess.
Yeah, there you go.
Nothing really has been going on too much in the world of sports, but don't worry, we're gonna fill you in for sure. But I've been in a great mood lately. We got the episode on Spotify. We got the episode on Apple Podcasts, which is super awesome. And you know what? It's only up from here, boys. It's only up from here. This year has been pretty interesting for a lot of people. I know a lot of people have been going through it. So hopefully 2022 is going to be better for all of us. It is game night, though. We are recording right now on Sunday, December 12th. It's going to be one hell of a matchup. But before we get into everything, let's just start getting into the previous stuff that's happened. The Walter Payton Man of the Year. This award and winning it in the NFL is not an easy task. Each team has someone nominated, but the thing is that there is so many players doing so much good stuff for the community that we don't get to see because negativity hogs the spotlight for the positivity and all the positive stuff that the players do. All you ever hear about is the drama and the bullshit. The great thing about this award is even if no one is doing anything for the community, it's a great time to shed light on all the awesome stuff and the good stuff that is going on in the NFL cities and the cities beyond that. So, congrats to all the nominees. Even if you don't win, it's still awesome to get nominated. There might be a thing with always talking about the drama, but I'm I'm glad we are able to talk about the people that are, you know, doing good things, helping out their communities. There are so many good guys in the NFL doing awesome things, but people only want to hear if you're pulling a gun out or doing something bad, faking a vaccination card, or something else stupid. One person you can probably expect never to win it again is Aaron Rodgers. He's also expected to never win an MVP ever again because of the vaccine scandal he had. But yeah, um, good luck to all the nominees, and hopefully there is uh, some more good that gets shined, and maybe we don't always have to constantly hear about the stupid stuff that happens in the NFL, or the players. Sometimes you get a player like Alden Smith, free agent defensive end, arrested for DUI causing injury. Guy was great at football, 42 sacks in 43 regular season games, but now way downhill. It's pretty ridiculous. I don't understand. He was acquired by Seattle, but then dropped before week 1. Maybe he has a lot of issues going on, but I'm also tired of seeing NFL players do dumb shit. So I'm glad that we're able to talk about the Walton the Walton Payton Award. I wanted to say Walton Payton Manning, but yeah, just the Walton Payton Award. And I'm glad we're able to talk about some good for once. Next, let's take it back to Monday night. Who would have thought this team would be dominating the way they are right now? Who would have thought that maybe 10 weeks ago, 11 weeks ago, that New England will be in the conversation of, holy shit, this team is a dominating force? Who would have thought in 2021 in the NFL, and the way NFL offensive lines are going, and the way the rules are, that we would be talking about Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots taking it back to 1945, because that game felt super old school. I hope everyone watched it because this game was absolutely amazing. They are on a 6-0 run on the road right now. This team with Bill Belichick is not even funny anymore. I know I've talked about Mac Jones and the New England Patriots quite a bit, but Bill Belichick got a chance to showcase his big-ass brain. 20 mile an hour, 25 mile an hour winds, 30 mile an hour winds, 40 mile an hour winds, gusting from the end zone and all the way straight to the other end zone. Tyler Bass kicked a kickoff 200 yards. If that doesn't say how crazy the winds are, this might. Jake Bailey, one of the biggest legs in football, he hit one 200 yards, which is not his fault. If the Bills would have scored after that kickoff, everyone would have been like, yeah, we get it, 30 mile an hour winds, but do your job. But then he comes back and kicks a 71-yarder the other direction. It must have been a nightmare for both teams and having no idea what to expect, except Bill Belichick was probably going to end up winning that kind of game anyway. Bill Belichick was telling everyone what kind of game this was going to be. And by the way, Bill Belichick is now 253 wins with 96 losses in 22 seasons. That is fucking insane. But he was saying he was going to be running the ball and that they were going to be taking this thing old school. Mac Jones throws the ball 3 times the entire game. Everyone is up in arms saying he can't take credit because they beat the Buffalo Bills without him even using the motherfucker. Without even using the motherfucker. Whenever we're talking about offensive or about offensive rookie of the year, or not even offensive rookie of the year, fucking just a rookie of the year. I don't even know why I said offensive rookie of the year. Mac Jones better not be in the conversation because the Patriots beat the Bills, best in the AFC, without him. And I say that is bullshit because that is a game that shouldn't count for either team. None of the stats should matter. That was the kind of game where you show up to and you win however the fuck you can win. If you can beat a team just constantly running the ball right down their goddamn throats, which is what has been happening, by the way, to the Buffalo Bills, two out of the last 3 weeks. Jonathan Taylor, 5 touchdowns just a few weeks ago. If you can beat them doing that without the 30-mile-an-hour winds, why the fuck would Mac Jones throw the ball in that weather? Why would Bill or the offense at all do anything different? Now Mac Jones, his yards and his stats are going to be suffering now. He could lose out to Rookie of the Year, if that's even possible, but who cares? He did exactly what he had to do. And like I said before, his draft class in QBs probably ain't winning a Super Bowl with the team on their shoulders in the next 5 years. Mac Jones will. And that Lombardi is all that matters. He did what everyone in New England does, their job. And they won. And Buffalo is going to have to figure it out and stop the running plays from happening, especially going forward, because now we know New England is able to do it. Baltimore should be able to do it, but can't. The Colts can do it. So Buffalo has to figure it out. People saying weird shit about Mac Jones. Starting to piss me off. He throws 3 passes. I could be better. Okay, why are you not in the NFL? There was practically a tornado going on. Although Josh Allen threw 30 times, not with much success. I think he threw 15 for 30. I just think there is unnecessary hate coming at Mac Jones because he's a Patriot. This isn't going good for Buffalo, though, because Josh Allen isn't afraid of running the ball. So I'm curious why that wasn't utilized. Bill Belichick was asked the next morning about all this and, asked about the running plays. And he said, we were talking about that the night before. We can use our whole passing game, all the pass plays we have for them, they haven't seen. Laughing about it. They face off December 26th. Again. Mac Jones is being attacked big time by this fucking game, even though he won. He's a fucking rookie. And in the one seed, for fuck's sakes. And on the topic of Rookie of the Year, if the Patriots win 12 games and have home field advantage, he should get it. But listen, let's not give all the credit to Bill Belichick winning this damn game. I will give credit for him being a genius, though. I think the Bills came at this game thinking they were going to play one way, and unfortunately they ended up playing another. And the Bills tried something to avoid mistakes, but Bill Belichick forced them at making mistakes. And yeah, he had incredibly high football IQ, and on top of everyone doing what they're told, it's a no contest. Mac Jones, but again, literally just handing the ball off. Just, all right, hut, all right, yeah, here you go, sir. All right, gets back in the huddle. All right, same fucking thing. Okay, yep, all right, here you go. All right, next, all right, yeah, all right, here you go. Tom Brady allowed for those kind of plays to happen also. For a long time, while other QBs were the ones dishing out all the, all the BS. Bill Belichick coaches everyone the same, regardless of who they are or who they think they are. And Mac Jones, same thing, just being like, yep, we are running the ball every single time. No ego. Just being like, yeah, the team did this whole thing. It's everyone's thing. It goes much deeper for me about him being a great player already. And people are trying to bury Mac Jones. Why? It makes no sense. He's doing exactly what his coach is telling him to do. It was impossible to throw that ball Monday night. Bill Belichick knew that. Everyone knew that. I mean, like I said, Josh Allen threw 15 for 30, and it's probably the strongest arm in the league. Mac Jones is probably the best Patriot ever right now. And if Peyton Manning, with what he said about him, is true, this guy is going to be crazy. Peyton texted him the week before the game. Mac didn't get back to him until the Saturday, and he went through his PR to talk to Peyton. Mac Jones, the only player unwilling to talk to Peyton Manning freely. All he cares about is football. He was asked, does he have a problem only throwing 3 plays? He said, look, I don't care if I throw every play or we run it every play. If we score more points than the other team and win, that's all that matters. Which is true. That's all that matters. It feels like Mac Jones was raised from a young age to be the next Patriots QB, which is even more crazy when you think that he was supposed to go 3rd overall as opposed to 15th. Another thing, Bill Belichick and Nick Saban were really close, so it seemed the stars have aligned once again for the Patriots. They will be winning Super Bowls with this kid 100% for sure. Joe Burrows had one of the grossest broken pinkies ever. This guy broke his fucking pinky, okay? If we would have seen him wearing a pinky ring, that fucking thing would have exploded. Because the sausage hanging from his 5th, what do you call it, the metatarsal or pentatarsal, swelled up so much from how broken it was. He was literally holding his hand behind his back and pulling it out. So when it bent, it wouldn't hurt so bad. He was straightening out his broken ass pinky. I have a lot of respect for Joe Burrows, especially for not having an indoor practice facility, because the Chargers showed up and Justin Herbert beat the brakes off them 41-22, obviously for the Chargers. Herbert celebrating in a big way, making catches in a big way. Herbert understands the conversation, and so does Joey B, between the two of them. No one knows who is better between these two quarterbacks. No one. Herbert, 6'5", great at football. Joey B, who knows, because he has glimpses of being the guy forever. But then you're like, oh yeah, he's a Bengal and going to put in a bad situation, and he may never make it. But Chargers fans are like, whoa, 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 whoa. We will fuck up Herbert's career just as bad. Do not let us get by. It's going to be interesting, and we will have to see over time, because we will probably be watching these two play football together for the entire existence of Behind the Boards. But that Chargers team was fucking balling. Crazy fumble recovery, but the Bengals team, man. They got Mike Whited, Herberted. Chargers team will show up like they did against the Bengals. And then the next, you're like, what the fuck is even happening? If Joe Burrows doesn't hurt his pinky, doesn't break his pinky, does the game fall in the Bengals' favor? Honestly, who knows? I honestly have no idea. Jamar Chase did something we haven't seen in a while. Jamar Chase came out a while back saying the NFL ball was harder to catch, which was taken way out of context. Then, right after preseason, people were still saying it. Joe Burrows came out and was like, everyone needs to fucking relax. Then started feeding Jamar Chase TDs every quarter, basically. Weird wobble type situation right into the Chargers' hands. Then it just changed the entire momentum. For a moment, it did look like Joey B was getting it back, but no dice. He did try. He was the ultimate Ohioan with the sausage link pinky that was his hanging from his hand. The whole ordeal. I'm still coming out. Don't give me that fucking stupid glove. It's uncomfortable. Get me back out there. We don't got no fucking indoor training facility. I'm from fucking Ohio. I don't think anyone is that tough in the NFL right now to continue playing the way like that. So, hot take here. I think Brian Daboll needs to get out of Buffalo. He needs to get taken out of the coaching staff. He's the offensive coordinator, by the way, for the Bills. And second, I think the team would be better in Toronto. Okay? Or maybe. There is so much around, all around the area. In Canada, I mean. And Americans would be so enticed to come over the Rainbow Bridge. I mean, we got a fucking Frankenstein on top of a Burger King. And plus, there is a bar in Niagara Falls where there is a picture of me drinking at 16 and another picture of me at the same bar where it was my 19th birthday. Wait, how are you here on your 19th birthday, but we have a picture of you from 3 years ago? Yeah, about that. If the bar is still around, I mean, I would imagine it's still up there, but I did hear it was taken down, so moment of silence for them. But with that being said, they would be great here. The football community here in Canada would be for sure expanded. It would definitely grow. It would be for the better. Very least, bring a new team. I mean, this is an untapped market, but maybe this team deserves the 70 and sunny. Better yet, maybe they deserve to head to Austin, Texas, where it was reported in the beginning of the season anyway. Brian Daboll last year, apparently best offensive coordinator in the last 50 years. Now everyone wants his head. What a bunch of fucking goofballs you are, Buffalo. You guys suck, okay? I want to make today the worst day for Buffalo fans, all right? I hope the Patriots destroy the Bills for the rest of eternity so bad that Buffalo never wants a football team ever again. Okay? I mean, even the Buffalo fans booed their own injured player. Scumbags. Don't get me wrong, I love hostile environments for away games when I played. The fuck yous to away crowds are the best fuck yous. I enjoy when people are scumbags to away teams. I wish players weren't ridiculed, however, for responding. Sometimes it's the best interaction. But you can't do that anymore because everyone gets offended these days. Nowadays, you roast someone, and there are people who aren't even involved are like, well, that's not really classy. And I'm just like, oh, you're a hero. Fucking grow up. All right? Gardner Minshew is an electrifying guy, but no one talks about him. This guy has the sickest mustache, a mullet, and wears jorts. Are you kidding me? This guy is a great QB, but I think unless he wins a couple of Super Bowls, I don't think he will be the guy. This is his third year. But nobody was watching his previous 2 years. They're watching now. Bigger audience because he's in Philadelphia. I mean, shit. There were only a couple QBs that seemed to win the Super Bowls on a regular basis anyway. So I think his time is coming soon. He's no slouch. He's no slouch QB, that's for sure. I would love to see him at the Denver Broncos or the Carolina Panthers. He could really excel there because his time in Jacksonville was a wash. Now he's playing for Philly, like I said, NFC East, bigger market. Maybe he can do something. Maybe he could do something special because the QB draft class coming up fucking stinks, aside from Kenny Pickett, really. So maybe and hopefully Gardner can expand his resume. Get on a team that really needs him. I'm hoping he's having conversations with Carolina Panthers. Plus, that moment with his dad, if you haven't seen that video, look it up. It's actually wholesome. Super, super awesome to see. He's electrifying. Maybe the Washington State legend is just getting started. We talk a lot about the Detroit Lions here and the Browns, but one team that is probably dead, even after defeating division rival, the Seattle Seahawks. Jamal Adams, out for the season, hurt the same shoulder as last year during their win against the 49ers. That's a big acquisition that they just signed to a larger deal not too long ago. A pass rushing safety playmaker kind of guy. He tore his labrum and suffered additional shoulder damage that he will most definitely need surgery for. He completely transformed that Seattle defense from what they once were. And Carlos Dunlap was also called to help out over there. But Jamal Adams is out for the rest of the year. So that defense is probably going to be crap right now. And what happens if they lose? Well, that Russell Wilson story only gets louder. So the Seahawks just beat the Niners, their last game. Massive win. 49ers George Kittle showed off some athleticism unlike anything I've ever seen before, but the Seahawks get the win against the Niners. The conversation about Russell's game, Pete Carroll, and what he's going to do all came down to a hush. And now Jamal Adams, star of their defense, is gone. That is a significant loss to that team. Big how? Who knows? But definitely a big blow. The issue is, too, they aren't even very good right now with him. But they also don't have any picks for this season or next in the first round. So Pete Carroll might be leaving because he's already said he doesn't want to be part of a team in a rebuilding stage. Joe Brady gets sent off from the Panthers. I was going to bring this up last episode, but I felt like there was already too much information. And frankly, I'm not surprised either. 2 seasons in a row, the offense has been absolutely trash, which on one hand is not surprising with Matt Rule coming from LSU. Most of his staff also came to Carolina from LSU. If you were unaware, Matt Rule coached the winning team that had Joey B. I imagine Joe Brady is going to go back to college. Apparently, he's been interviewing for head coaching jobs. He'll probably end up getting one of those jobs, and hopefully he can expand his knowledge and his resume and then get back in the NFL. Thing is, too, I want Matt Rule gone. For this reason, he's been there since Cam's final season prior to this one, and there has been no success. I don't see him leading Carolina to a Super Bowl. And with McCaffrey being out for almost 2 full seasons in a row, it's as if Matt is running around trying to make it seem like he's doing everything he can. Now, granted, I know once Kuechly left, the defense was going to suffer, but time to suck it up, put the pads back on, and get some wins. Okay, the one thing too is we need to focus heavily on our O-line, which has not been a focus quite often. We keep getting all these different quarterbacks, but we're not getting anybody to protect them. I would love for Tepper, again, I brought this up just a minute ago, to pick up Gardner Minshew. I think he would be great. I think he would be a great fit. I know we just talked about Gardner, but I mean, he wants to be QB1. So I do really hope that he's talking with Tepper and the Panthers organization, because, like I said, this next draft class is not fucking good. It fucking stinks. Running back James Robinson benched on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kind of ironic we're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, Gardner Minshew's old team. People are probably saying right now, Jacksonville Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars. Exactly. No one watches this team because you can't. It's almost impossible sometimes. To have your player, and your best player to boot, benched, and listen, I get it, he fumbled, but that happens. But the interesting thing here is Trevor Lawrence, rookie quarterback, first year, saying that this is a guy we definitely need on the field. Is not an alarming situation, but it's not a situation that you get all the time, let alone have it come from a first-year rookie saying, look, I don't agree with this coaching decision. Jaguars have been really weird this season. Definitely a learning season for everybody there. But I mean, who cares also? Who cares? He's probably gone now. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I feel terrible for him. I feel bad for a lot of great football players down in Jacksonville and everything like that. And hopefully whatever they choose to do works out. But right now, who cares? They fucking stink. It doesn't seem like anybody is buying into the culture down there. When you lose, and you lose as much as Jacksonville Jaguars, and I don't want to say it, but, you visit the Chop House. The Chop House visits are coming. But when people are constantly visiting the Chop House and not coming back, it's hard for new guys to buy in and truly be part of the team. The thing is, for every sport, is it's so hard to keep everyone on the same page when you're losing. And with football, you want that number one pick if you're losing. We talk about the Lions a lot. But you can tell everyone there still believes. People that are part of that Lions organization want to be there, and most of all, they want to win while they are there because they are so dedicated. But a situation like the Texans, having the number one pick would be great. But what you've had there is players fighting old versus new. That's why we see Justin Reed suspended. Zach Cunningham was waived. With the Jaguars, it seems like it's the same kind of old versus new type of frustration that's going on. Not that you can't get out of it, but when you're part of management, you see all of it, and when you're losing, it makes everything much worse. I would hope for this week that Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jaguars, is going to sit down with the players and sort all of this out and explain, hey, even though this coaching decision affects one of our best players, this is going to help us win in the long run, in the future. As for Trevor Lawrence, he's in a no-win situation because he's supposed to be the leader of the locker room despite him being a very young guy, while also being a representative for the team, regardless of the situation at hand. If he doesn't say something about his teammate, he loses the locker room. If he says something, front office goes up in flames, including with the head coach. I think he made the right decision. I think being a good teammate is far, far more important than people think it is. A good teammate can do wonderful things for a team. A good teammate can impact every position. It sucks for Trevor Lawrence because, in my books, he's making all the right decisions, but he may be trapped in a no-win situation now. It's going to be very difficult because there are so many good teams. Plus, the way the NFL is structured, there's such a head start for teams, especially in the AFC. And teams function better when you get a group of guys where everyone loves each other and everyone plays for each other, rather than playing for paychecks. Jim Caldwell, current quarterback coach of the Miami Dolphins, previous head coach of the Detroit Lions and the Colts, once said, talented, hard-working, dependable, humble people with high character make better teammates. Better teammates equal better teams. Better teams equal better produced wins. Jim Caldwell went to Detroit and produced wins. Granted, not enough, but still brought wins. Being drafted in the NFL is far different than any other sport. I mean, just with the combine alone, it sets it apart, housing a very large group of athletes with all different builds, skills, backgrounds, specialties, ethnicities, which is why I think the NFL is so complicated when you start diving into it. Because that combine really matters. Speed, explosivity, ability to flip your hips, making throws, making catches. That definitely matters. You only get a certain amount of time with the players as a coach. That's why you get coaches taking their shirt off, playing basketball. Some literally play rock, paper, scissors because you're literally trying to figure out whether or not this someone or this person you're talking to is someone you want to bring onto your team, bring into your locker room, use a pick on you, bring into your culture. You could be a great player, but if they think you won't fit in with the guys, they won't pick you. That's why the pro days is also so important. You're surrounded by your future teammates. I think also, too, this is why Bill Belichick liked the situation with Mac Jones, because on the pro day, Mac Jones had Devontae Smith run some routes when he wasn't planning on doing anything, which is super important. They want to see how you mingle with the players. They want to see if you're able to communicate. But on top of that, the combine in the NFL, I mean, it's a fantastic way to look at every single player objectively. But that's not even it. The NFL teams will literally have you take a fucking personality test. And you know the ones I'm talking about. The ones where they ask you the same question 8 times just in a different way. But if they don't like your answers or catch you in a lie, you won't be drafted by them. But my point is, Trevor Lawrence seems to be on his team's side. He seems to really fit in with the culture. And his decision of coming out and sticking up for his teammate, I think, is a great one. But he's on the Jaguars. And they have no idea what they're doing, it seems. I want to quickly talk about Taylor Heineke, QB of the Washington football team. He has done some... you know what? He has done something special there. Every time I feel like I'm talking about the team, the Washington football team, or Taylor, I keep saying no offense. But I started thinking maybe there is, no offense. Maybe they were just really good this year. He said, and Taylor, said, that Tampa playoff game was a job interview and I killed it. Dude. And we here at Behind the Boards couldn't be happier. No one knew he existed before. Now he's the starter for the Washington football team. Now Washington is in playoff conversation. Ryan Fitzpatrick is out for the rest of the year, and maybe, you know what? You can't count out Fitzmagic. Maybe he'll be back. Never count him out. He'll probably be back. But I love that Heineke said this, and maybe he just has it to go on and win some games. I respect his confidence. I mean, he probably was all cool when he said that too, spitting in that cut, fucking ping. Yeah, it was a job interview. I killed it, dude. You saw me. I dove from the 5-yard line. I'm excited to see Taylor Heineke go on, and I'm excited for the Washington football team, and Ron Rivera seems to have it down over there, despite that the arena had actual poop water raining down on their fans in the suite. They just have to... They have it figured out. And it looks like that's working for them. All right, I have to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and Chase Claypool. Harrison Smith saved that game for the Vikings. Ben Roethlisberger, threw one hell of a throw to Freiermuth, and Smith punches that ball. If it wasn't there, this game probably would be a W. If If Harrison Smith wasn't there, this game would probably be a W for the Steelers. But I know people are saying, interference, or, whatever the case may be. That is classic PBU, okay? Classic PBU. Harrison Smith changed the entire game. And look, I know the Steelers are doing bad, but honestly, after the first quarter, I was going, are you fucking kidding me? And I know, too, a lot of injuries on both teams. That's what happens when you're playing December football. But holy shit, Ben, what are you doing? You can no longer cover up for the O-line, and it fucking shows. But it wasn't just that. Like, they got a pick, then celebrated, even though you're down 22 points. Then the Chase Claypool stuff. Jesus, second year in a row. If you don't know, I'll explain. Shout out to Tyler for sending me the clip. Big 4th and 2nd or 1st conversion on the slant and catches a great ball. Celebrates with 30 seconds left. No timeouts left. As the center runs over to him to get the ball. Back to get it spotted. No one knows where the ball is. Looks like backyard football is happening. They probably would have gotten one more play had he not done that shit. The worst part is, he was already benched for taunting, which he does all the time. Then he still does that? I mean, he's so fucking talented, but shit. When you're doing stuff like that in week 13, Jesus. If I was a Steelers fan, I would be pissed. Felt like the Steelers showed up to that game also 2.5 quarters late. Because if they had won that game, that's a franchise win. Like, do you not understand the importance of what was happening there, Chase Claypool? There are players who sprint, grab the ball, sprint to the ref, get back in formation. There's a player, Larry Fitzgerald, would literally pick the ball up, sprint, get back in formation, do it again. Do you not look up to players like that? Peyton Manning was a stickler for that. 2 minutes left, no fucking horsing around. Run with the ref. Put your hand on the ref's back. Minnesota, props to them though, they were systematically bumping into the Steeler O-lines, holding them down just the right amount of time before a holding call. The start of the BS with the Steelers, of course, leads to Antonio Brown recording the locker room, but honestly, no one on the Steelers looks like they give a fuck. Like Mike Tomlin said, we are going to evaluate who we are going to do it with going forward. Sad. I would definitely keep Minkah Fitzpatrick. That guy has some fucking wheels. This guy made multiple touchdown-saving tackles in open field on Dalvin Cook when those were very hard tackles. And wow, also, Dalvin Cook, he is so fucking fast. So fast. He caught this one ball on a 3rd down, fucking unbelievable. What a route. They had their dime players in for the Steelers. Safety was covering him. So tough to cover out of the backfield when you got a player that can run like that. Nice ball by primetime Kirk too. Kirk Cousins threw 2 picks. That definitely can't be happening. Dalvin Cook ran circles around the Steelers defense. Gaps as wide as 5 yards. The Vikings bullied the Steelers. Great win after the Detroit Lions beat them. Good for them. And look, I know there was a whole bunch of injuries. Playing new D linemen into the group, or sorry, placing new D linemen into the group. You can talk about runs or routes, or the players aren't as good as the starters, which doesn't matter anyway. They're still good, but it's a matter of connection. It's a matter of understanding your teammates. O-linemen who have no injuries and play together all year almost have a sixth sense about their teammates and their choices that they will make. They don't have to talk. Same thing for D-line. The linebackers have to trust the D-line, okay, to know what's up. Like, hey, these D-linemen are in A gap. This D lineman is in B gap. I know they are going to stay in those gaps and not get pushed out of it. So I can play my gaps. But then you have new guys come in, or people you don't practice with often. Maybe miscommunication happens. Who knows? This is why football injuries matter so much than other sports. One guy goes missing, everything changes. Even if you're putting in someone just as good, it's a matter of connection, like I was saying. But during that miscommunication, they get blasted out of their gap. So you, as a linebacker, try to make up for it. And now guess what? Linebackers trying to make up for the D-line out of their gap. Now linebackers out of their gap. So the safeties are trying to make up for that. And what you get is a bunch of it's just a bunch of professional athletes running around having no idea what they are doing. A chain reaction of fuckery is pretty much what's happening. But no matter what, no matter how much you spin it, or even me explaining the importance of injuries and how much it's important to keep the O-line and D-line intact, the Steelers stinks. Once Ben hits the bricks, this team needs a big rebuild. They got a great running back in Naj. Claypool, if he can figure his shit out and figure the rest of it all out, who knows? This team needs a vet wide receiver. Someone to help and guide Chase Claypool, actually. Because the fact of the matter is Chase is a great player. Just needs guidance, I think. Now we're going to get into the NHL stuff here. The first thing that I want to talk about, and it was one thing that has been on my mind lately, and I've said it. I've talked about it previously before, in private, but it feels like the Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Rangers share some heavy resemblance when it comes to the state that the New York Rangers is in right now. I think people go to Toronto Maple Leafs for the same reason now people want to go to the New York Rangers. I mean, they just got evaluated at, what was it, Taylor?
$2 billion.
$2 billion.
First team
Absolutely insane.
Be $2 billion.
Yeah, first team ever. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised now if there are players that just want to go there just for the simple fact of, hey, I'm going to get my money. I'm going to get paid. And also, too, I'm going to be part of history because they're a huge part of history. Wouldn't you not agree with me there, Taylor?
Yep. I could.
Kind of feels like they're the old
that.
school Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, with the history and the money that they could bring to it. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't anybody want to go there? And they're not even a bad team. Like, they're a pretty solid team. I think they're, like, in the top 5, top 10 at least in the NHL right now. So, yeah, I mean, it just makes sense to me for people wanting to go and, one, getting paid, and two, being on a good team with history.
Yeah.
So
I completely think so, too. I mean, they have... I feel like they have been trying to make the right decisions. I don't think they're in as worse a shape as Toronto used to be, maybe in 2014, 13 time. But I will say I'm pretty sure that they are still kind of like in this. I feel like they don't know what to do. I feel like they've lost a couple of times now where they're kind of in this part of their decision making where they're trying to figure out exactly what the issue is. And I don't think we're going to find out anytime soon. I think we'll find out maybe next season and really get a really good hold on the situation. I think that's, I don't know. Maybe they need to restructure their team. Maybe they need to go through a rebuild or something.
yeah.
Another thing that... Oh, sorry, continue?
it depends what happens this year, I think. Whatever, see how far they go in the playoffs and whatnot, and then, I don't know, like you said, it's been, I think they haven't gotten past the second round or whatnot, like, in a while, so, it's just like the Leafs in the first round. But I think, whatever happens this year, see what happens. And, changes could be made. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. One team that should probably just fucking give up. Coyotes. Okay. Apparently, the issue with the money had to do with human error. How fucking stupid do you think we are? You think if you're owing money, let alone $100 million, if you owe $100 to your phone company, they're calling you every single day until you die, and then they're calling your family members. Do you think that there's not someone calling the Coyotes for $100 million? Are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely, there is. Human error. Jesus. Figure your shit out. You don't deserve to be there. Okay? This team is dead. I don't know. I don't know. This team, the Buffalo, I almost said the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Sabres, the Buffalo Sabres, I mean, between these two teams, I don't know who's in a worse off shape other than, well, we all know Vancouver. But that's a whole other thing. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that situation, Taylor?
Yeah, I thought it was weird how right after the day it was public that they owe an amount of money that it was paid off the next day. It's just, I don't know, scare
They just
tactic.
so happen to have all the money.
Yeah, all of a sudden, just here you go, paid off all the bills, and then they're all good now. So I don't know, it doesn't make sense. Like, the whole thing is just so stupid.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and we all know that Bettman absolutely loves Arizona, so they're not going anywhere.
No. Which he's already confirmed that Coyotes are not going anywhere, so no relocation for those guys anytime soon.
No. Absolutely an interesting an interesting kind of time of events. Like you said, it's very ironic. The next day they have all the money. It's just interesting. I wonder what was going through their heads.
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
Throughout that entire time. Hilarious, also. Absolutely hilarious. Do you think I was wrong about Boudreaux? I mean,
no.
Since he's been back, they've won a couple. I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact they ended up winning like 2 times in a row at one point. I don't know if they're still keeping it up. But I know that they did win twice in a row at one point.
Let me see here.
I'm checking right now. So they've won their last 3 in a row.
Well, of course.
But do you think that could be attributed to the fact that the team is probably just excited that there's changes happening?
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, it's big when the team gets a new coaching staff, or whether it's a GM or certain player coming in or not. It changes. Like gets the team going a little bit, and that's possibly what could happen. It's just that the team's excited about new faces. So
yeah, I definitely think that's what it's about, because I don't. Again, I'm going to stick to my guns here. I still don't think Boudreaux is a good coach for that team. I think I think what's happening is Vancouver is just like the teammates. I mean, the actual team is just happy that there's changes coming. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they don't even have a GM right now. They have an interim GM. But I mean, you can't. I mean, there's not. At the end of the day, when this season is done, let's say they have 30 or 40 wins, whatever the case is, they still can't do anything. They have too much money in the cap.
Yeah.
Too much money tied up in the cap. There's no.
That's the problem.
They're fucking dead in the water already. So, I don't know. I just look at it. Celebrate all you want. You're still fucked. Like.
Yeah, they're still at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, it reminds me of like that meme of like that dog that's sitting down at the table while the entire house is on fire and it's saying like I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. Yeah, celebrate the wins as much as you want. I mean, I guess this is where Ron Francis is benefiting when it comes to the rainy side of the world between Vancouver and Seattle. He doesn't have all this money tied up in the cap, and he's at this fresh start. And you know what? I don't see Vancouver getting in a situation where it's going to benefit them anytime soon. Spezza and the Toronto Maple Leafs are appealing the 6-game suspension. Now, I did check out this hit. For me, I think it was. I feel like I looked like a straight-on accident, and that's coming from someone who's not biased. I'm not a huge Leaf fan. I'm barely a Leaf fan. I like some of the players. I like Mitch Marner. I like Austin Matthews, but that's as far as it goes. I look at that hit and I'm not convinced that was an intentional thing. On my side, I hope it gets appealed, and I hope he doesn't have to do any games. If anything, maybe 2 games. That's what I would like to see. But it doesn't look intentional. The one hit on Sandin, that
was worse.
We should be talking about that, and we should talk about Buddy Opal getting the 6-game suspension.
Yeah.
Not Spezza, but I mean, I guess it could be seen as a retaliation thing. But it doesn't, unless Spezza is amazing at kind of like looking very unintentional in the way he's skating. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you really watch that hit a couple times over, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get convinced. Like, it doesn't look like, when I think of intentional, I think of players, unfortunately, like Tom Wilson, one of my favorite players, doing stuff. Even though he's sometimes done things that maybe didn't warrant what happened. But, like, then you think of, like, Brad Marchand and all them. And when I think of an intentional kind of hitting kind of guy, kind of situation, I don't think of Spezza in that category. I feel like if anybody would have hit that, I don't even know who he hit.
Pionk.
If it was any other Leaf, I feel like they would be getting this 6-game suspension also. I feel like this was a lose. I feel like this was a lose-lose situation. Regardless.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, whoever made that hit to Pionk there would have been. Yeah, again, the same scenario of getting that suspension, and that sucks that it shouldn't have been 6 games to me. If they were looking at suspension, I'm looking at 3 games at most. Like, I don't think that's a 5. That knee on knee with Sandin, that's it's way more bad in my opinion. That Sandin's been out now for 2 weeks and missing time, so I don't know. It's just it's stupid because Pionk goes down to play the puck by the hand, and of course, like, if a guy's coming for a hit and you duck down last minute, well, you're gonna get hit a different way. Like, your head's at the knees and you're more vulnerable of getting hit. So I don't understand why they thought that was intentional. And this is Spezza's first suspension in over 1,200 games, like, in his career. It's insane. Like,
that's what I don't understand too. Like, doesn't 6 games seem very heavy for someone who's not a like again? When I was saying, like, Tom Wilson and Brad Marchand, unfortunately, those are repeat offenders, as they say. And if you go 1,200 games without a suspension, and then you get issued 6, it's kind of heavy, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like that was a warranted suspension. And I know people probably thinking, "Oh my God, whatever, blah blah blah." You're only saying this because your friends are leaving. No, I'm saying this because I'm looking at it objectively. If this was Tom Wilson hitting this guy, regardless if it was the exact same, if the exact same setup was happening, if Tom Wilson was Spezza in that situation, it looked exactly the same, I would say, yeah, 6 games sucks. But you know what? That's what happens. And at the end of the day, I couldn't sit there and be like, was that an intentional hit or not? Because it was Tom Wilson. I would probably just laugh about it, like, yeah, that's probably intentional. But when it's Spezza, someone who's not in a situation like this in a long fucking time, it's kind of hard to be like, yeah,
Yeah,
And
literally.
also, let's give him 6 games. But let's also leave the guy who did knee on knee with Sandin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve a
Yeah.
suspension.
He's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Leave him
Yeah.
alone.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
makes no sense to me. Like it blows my mind. Like the player in safety, it's just I don't know. I don't know what they saw in that scenario with Spezza on the hit on Pionk. What's different from Pionk's kneeing Sandin and why that wasn't reviewed or whatever. Like I don't know. It's mind blowing. I don't get it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's not benefiting the players there, especially with the hit Pionk did originally on Sandin.
Yeah. If that was Tom
Um,
Wilson, that would have been like 12 games.
exactly,
Like
exactly.
because he's a repeated offender, and if Spezza's never had a suspension in his career and get his first suspension 6 games,
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely
understand.
crazy.
Makes no sense.
Um, there's a possibility of I mean, I've been reading some rumors here. There's apparently a 3-way trade rumor with Montreal, Colorado, and Edmonton for Carey Price. I'm curious to know what you think about that.
Did it say of who's going where and for what,
No,
or it was just those teams surrounding the name of Carey Price?
I think it looks like it's just like those teams are surrounding the name. It doesn't say who, but apparently these are the 3 teams involved, or these are the 2 teams involved for the trade for Carey Price. I'm gonna I'm gonna say why I think this is fake. I don't think he's going anywhere, but I'm gonna say why I think that there's rumors. Typically, when players are being moved or when they're leaving, their name is getting buzzed around through the different teams. I think because of that, there's weird, shitty speculations that are happening. Out of those 2 teams, I don't see him going to Colorado. I would see him going to Edmonton because their goaltending is a little bit shaky. They might not be able to afford him, but there could be something they could do, which might be why there's a 3rd team involved. I mean, but who really knows at this point? But again, I don't think that's a real situation. I mean, he very well could end up on Colorado and follow in Patrick Waugh's footsteps. But again, I don't think that's the situation at play here. I think what's happening is he wants to retire. And because his name is getting buzzed off into the different teams, into the different organizations, people are taking the name and being like, oh, obviously there could be a trade happening here. Obviously this could be happening here. I don't see that really. I don't know. Plus, some of the sources that I've seen about it or read about it don't seem to be too credible. So I don't know. Like, it's not coming from TSN or ESPN or The Score or Sportsnet or something like that. It's coming from like random places. So I don't know what I think of that. But I think if his name is being tossed around, I think it's because he's wanting to retire. But I'm thinking, I need to get your side of what you think there, Taylor. Do you think this is a possibility, or do you think it's kind of like in the same situation that I am thinking?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what that deal would look like. Because it doesn't seem like Colorado's got a lot of cap space, and I think Edmonton either doesn't have a lot of cap space. So Montreal doesn't look like they have a lot either. But I don't know. If there's some way that they can make this happen, I don't know what I don't know what it looked like, and I don't know. I don't personally think that Carey Price would want that to be the case. I think maybe I'm pretty sure at this point I think he would want to stay in Montreal.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Um,
thinking too.
yeah, I don't think that there's going to be anything of wanting to move, going anywhere else. But I don't know. Like I don't know how he is coming out of that mental health situation and all that. But hopefully, he comes back and he's stronger than ever, and he could potentially bring the Montreal Canadiens back to the Stanley Cup final. Who knows? So I think
Yeah.
giving him the going last year with the Stanley Cup final, I think that gave him hope. Like that's the farthest they've gotten in a long time. So like
Has he been to the Stanley Cup final before? Has he made it there?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because I know there was the one time when
Uh,
Halak filled in for him, but so technically that wasn't him.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
But didn't they face off, or didn't they go against Carolina at one point? Wasn't that like a series that happened?
Let me see.
A Stanley Cup. I'm pretty sure Carolina and Montreal faced off each other at one point. Unless that was just a series.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think that was Price's first. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. That was his first. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that. I don't think he's gonna want to go anywhere because it seems like that them going to the Cup Finals, tells him that this team is a Cup contender, and obviously not right now this year. They're missing the most important piece in the back end with Shea Weber and Carey Price, but I don't know. Without Price, this team is not solid enough to make that run. So if he comes back and plays the way he's got to play, or play that he plays, yeah, I don't think that they'll move. Although that the Avs and Oilers do need goaltending, but I
Yeah,
think
like I
Carey
said, I'm
Price has
pretty.
got too much of a high price tag for that.
Yeah, I think the goaltending for both teams are way more than shaky. And if they expect especially Edmonton, if they want their drive to continue, I think that they need to. When's the trade deadline?
Mm, March, I think. I want to say March, maybe February, but with the Olympics, I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, if something wants to happen, they need to be thinking quick, because the playoffs are only right around the corner. It's
oh,
coming quick. It's
February 10th.
February 10th. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's even coming quicker. So
Oh wait, that
yeah,
might
something
be
really
NBA.
needs to change.
Shit. Oh, God damn it. Wow, that was. I just saw the NBA logo under it. The March 21st.
March 21st.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
because of the Olympics in February. So
Hmm. Well,
yeah,
on the topic of goaltending, Fleury joins Brodeur and Roy with 500 wins. Congratulations. And Ben Bishop retires because a degrading knee, which is very, very sad. Um, I'm sure that probably hit him pretty hard. I'm pretty sure he probably still wants to continue playing. Um,
Yeah,
He
that
was a great
sucks.
netminder. I would say he was probably one of the best too, and he was big. I remember when he was on Tampa Bay. He's a big fucking guy. I think it was like 6'5".
Yeah, six
Like,
foot five, 6'6". I don't know. He's massive.
yeah, he's a huge fucking guy. Yeah, that really sucks. My heart definitely goes out to him. When you're forced to retire because of an injury, that must be very hard. That
Yeah.
must be very hard.
That's the worst. It's not even like your own decision on, you're thinking about it, you're, half in, half out, and then, that's something else. But when it comes down to an injury or a lingering injury, like, you're forced that you can't play anymore because it's not getting better, or, it's just too risky to make it worse. So that
Yeah,
definitely sucks for him.
yeah. I do hope that he's able to come to terms with it, because that would definitely suck if he can't. I would definitely, be pissed if I was him.
Yeah.
I'd be upset. There'd be a lot of emotions going there. Are the Islanders back? Probably not. I mean, they won their first game apparently at their new stadium. But it doesn't. I mean, who really knows? Maybe it was a fluke. Well, do you have any more topics, Taylor, that you want to bring up here?
No, I got nothing. The only thing I was going to bring up was the Ben Bishop injury, but we covered that, so yeah, that's all I got for now.
Well, I mean, we just finished off here the last race of the Formula One season, and Max Verstappen, first-time world champion, and Mercedes is none too pleased. I guess what was I mean I was watching what was happening, and a lot of it was very confusing. Just a very quick recap. There was a safety car out. No one was supposed to pass the safety car. Max ended up passing it, getting beside Lewis. All of a sudden, they said, "Okay, we're finishing off the race with one lap left," and Max ended up passing Lewis on fresh tires. Max was on the same tires from lap 14, and then Lewis came in second. If you haven't watched it, Toto Wolff, team principal and CEO of Mercedes Racing, was none too pleased. Let me tell you that right now. He was pissed. And there's already an investigation happening. So, I mean, we'll see exactly what happens there. I hope that Max Verstappen gets to keep his win, because he deserves it. He's gonna be great in Formula One. He's already one hell of a driver, and he's only 24 years old. But that concludes the rest of this episode. You can find us at YouTube/The Behind the Boards Show, and Behind the Boards on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to follow us on our social medias to keep up to date with upcoming episodes. We do have some things coming in the future. Until then, keep your head up and your stick on the ice. See ya. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, be sure to drop a 5-star if you enjoyed it, and to follow our social medias to stay up to date with upcoming episodes every week.